Welcome back to the Casket podcast, your destination for all things gaming, including the latest in game industry news, in-depth reviews, gameplay impressions, and much more. I'm your host, Drew. Unfortunately, today I'm not joined by Mitch, so you're just gonna have me for this episode. Um, anyways, though, it's been a while. Where the heck have we been? Well, Mitch and I are pretty busy. Outside of podcasting, we do and gaming, we do have lives, which is kind of surprising. Anyways, though, we're about to get back into the swing of things, so you can expect a lot more content coming soon. But for the podcast, we're probably just gonna go to a bi-weekly schedule, and we might switch up the upload dates from Fridays to a different day during the week. But we'll definitely keep y'all updated on that. Um, Anyways, though, before we dive into the latest gaming news, we'd like to thank you once again for all the support. And if you want to keep supporting our show, be sure to subscribe to our channel, give a thumbs up on our video, and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Twitter at Casket Minds. And don't forget to share it with your friends and family. All right, so starting with the first story of the day. Starfield has finally gone gold. I cannot believe I'm actually saying that, but we're only a few weeks away from its release now. If you have the early access, it starts on September 1st. Um, Otherwise, the game releases on September 6th for all the standard editions. Um, but yeah, the game's officially gold. It's around 125 gigabytes of storage on consoles, and then on PC, it's closer to 140 gigabytes. Um, no surprises there, honestly. We already knew it was going to be a massive game, so you know that. And honestly, there's so many games these days that are dropping at over 100 gigabytes, so it's something that we should come to expect moving forward from these next gen consoles, which is unfortunate. But hopefully we can start seeing some more games with smaller game sizes, or at least file sizes, I should say. But yeah, so Starfield has gone gold, which is really exciting. I mean, this game has been in development for probably around 8 years, and I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago when we first got the announcement of the game. So that's really crazy that we're just weeks away from its release and we'll finally have our hands on it. Um, but yeah, like since Starfield has gone gold, there's like a lot of new information on it. So yeah, the devs did a Q&A on Discord, I believe, and they dropped some really cool new details about Starfield. Um, so it is a Bethesda game, and like every Bethesda game ever, always has the ability to have your own houses within their games. And Starfield is no different here. So they said there's going to be player housing in all of the major cities in the game. Some will be rewards from quests, and others have to be purchased. And there's going to be at least one in each of the main cities. Um, and if it's anything like Skyrim, I'm sure you can expect to see housing on like smaller cities or smaller locations, like a little bit more like secret houses that you can get. And then also, you can make outposts in the game, so you can like make your own house if you want to as well. Um, but yeah, that's like a really cool detail. It just adds some levels of immersion to the game. And obviously, like I'm sure you can like store items there, and I don't know, maybe they have like different secrets and stuff within those houses. Maybe some cool lore and storytelling stuff. Um, but yeah, so that's one of the new details. Another one that they talked about was the kid stuff trait. So if you remember from the gameplay reveal, they showed off this thing called traits, and it's essentially like these little modifiers that you can add to the gameplay that make these like small changes or sometimes big changes to the gameplay loop, and it just adds these like really interesting features. So they talked about the kid stuff one, which they did reveal at the gameplay during Summer Game Fest or during the Xbox showcase, um, where you can actually like have parents in the game, and you have to like pay for their housing and stuff like that. Um, and so it like just adds this extra layer of like role playing to the game. But they just revealed that your parents will be based on your character's look. So kind of like Fallout 4 and the way that they did that. So that's really interesting. And they also hinted at a lot of like cool story moments or like dialogue choices and stuff like that that we're gonna be able to get with that trait. So for y'all who are really into role playing, that's gonna be a really fun way to play the game. And it also adds a lot of replay ability. So if you don't do that on your first playthrough, do it again, or do it for your first time on another playthrough. Um, so another thing they revealed that's actually related to the traits. So in the game, you can choose a background, and there's like a bunch of different ones you can choose from, and those will give you like different skills and stuff like that. Um, and so they said that you can actually choose an anonymous background, and you can choose to go with no traits if none of the options are really anything that you're into. Because like some of this backgrounds or some of the traits do have drawbacks. So like the kid stuff trait, you have to pay like a monthly in-game fee for your parents' housing. So that can be like a little bit difficult because like maybe you're blowing all your money away to upgrade your ships or something like that, and then oh, you don't have enough for the monthly rent. So that's something that you're gonna have to watch out for. So if you're not like into all of those like smaller modifiers and like different skills and drawbacks that you can get from choosing those, you can choose to opt out of that. So there's like a lot of freedom in the gameplay, it seems like, which is really cool. Um, so yeah, another really cool detail. So obviously, like you can smuggle stuff and steal stuff and throw that cargo onto your ship. Um, and like when you pick up those contraband items, you know, if you're flying to different star systems, that can be detected by I guess like I don't know if you want to call it like the space police. I don't really remember what they're calling the law enforcement in Starfield, but we're just gonna go with space police. Uh, but they can detect that stuff on your ship, so you can actually get upgrades for your ship to hide those items. And there is actually a faction that you can join that's all about smuggling. Um, so that would definitely be like a really good upgrade if you're gonna choose to join that faction, or if you know just want to steal stuff in general. Definitely will want to be getting one of those upgrades for your ship. And then speaking of like the law system in the game, they did confirm that there's a jail system, kind of like there is in Skyrim. So you can choose to either pay a fine or you can try and escape when arrested, just like Skyrim. This is like basically a Bethesda staple right here. Um, and obviously, like I keep comparing this to Skyrim, but I know like it's not fair to compare Skyrim to Starfield since it's such a different game. And obviously, it is a Bethesda game, but it really seems like something new and uncharted for them. No pun intended, since they're going to uncharted star systems. Um, but yeah, so that's really exciting. Again, that just adds a lot of replayability and a lot of extra like gameplay elements to the game. So that's really exciting news. And then another really interesting detail they revealed. So obviously, like we knew that there's going to be like three. I think it was at least three new religions that they designed specifically for this game that are related to stuff within the story and like the world building. But they also said that there's going to be existing real life religions within the game, and like certain characters will like represent those religions. And you can choose to join different religions if you want to, which will add different gameplay elements, different side quests, and dialogue choices within the game. So that's really interesting stuff. The three main new religions that they added, the first one's called the Sanctum Universum, which they believe that God physically exists within the universe, and grav jumping between different planets and the ability to travel the stars is God's way of saying, "Come find me." Um, that's just like really interesting stuff. It's always cool to see like really in depth like world building within Bethesda games. That's what I love about Skyrim. That's what I love about Fallout. So it's really cool to see that. The other two are the Enlightened. which are organized atheists. They don't believe in the higher power, and they rather that humans take care of one another. So like a very like humanistic kind of faction that you can join. And then the third one is called the House of Varun. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm just gonna assume so. And they believe that this thing called the Great Serpent will encircle the universe and devour every non-believer. Um, and so I'm assuming the serpent that they're referencing is probably some sort of alien or something like that. Maybe that's something that you can discover within the game, which would be really cool. Um, so yeah, another really cool detail they revealed, there are going to be over 20 named characters who can join your crew. Four of them are from the Constellation, which is the main faction in the game. That faction is going to be driving the main narrative and the main story of the game. But yeah, those four crew members are going to be the main focus in your companions. However, there's gonna be 16 others that will also be named characters, and then there's also just random crew members that you can just pick up and throw into your crew. I don't think they've said how many crew members you can have on your ship. So if you can have all 20 at the same time, I don't know. Maybe you can have more. Maybe you can have less. We'll just have to wait and see whenever we get our hands on the game. Um, and then another thing related to crew members. So when you assign a crew member to an outpost, which is something that you can do, so you can set up outposts and build them on different planets. Um, and if you assign a crew member to one of those outposts, you only have to do a one-time payment, so you don't have to do like an in-game monthly fee for their salary or anything like that. So it's not going to be like too intense for more casual gamers, which is honestly good to hear. But it would be cool if they did have the ability to have it a little bit more difficult. Maybe there is. If there isn't, I'm sure people will mod that in. Try and make it feel like a Persona game or something like that. Um, and then companion skills do not level up. They stack with the player's skills when relevant. So that's an interesting thing. So I guess you're not going to be leveling up your companions. And I think what they mean by they stack with the player's skills is like if you're skilled within like hacking computers or something like that, and maybe your companion is too, I think the level of your companion and then the level of your own skills are gonna stack and like double or something like that. But I could be misreading that or misunderstanding that. So that's something that we'll get much more clarity on whenever the game releases, or maybe whenever the review embargo drops. Which, by the way, reviews for the game are going to be dropping on August 31st, so one day before the early access period. So yeah, really soon, just a few weeks away. Um, and then the last little detail that they announced, there have been some animated shorts that they've been releasing like over the past few weeks. There's no dialogue in them, which is a really interesting choice. But the animation is super cool, and it just like adds some world building and kind of shows different parts of the universe. Um, and so they showed some mechs uh, that are in these shorts, and I guess they said that they're gonna be leftover mechs from the Colony War, which is something that happened within the lore. I think like maybe like 100 years or something like that. Maybe it was sooner. I can't remember. Uh, you can definitely check it out on the Starfield website. They've got a timeline of all the events. But there's this huge war, and they used a bunch of mechs and stuff. And I guess there's gonna be a bunch of old mech battlegrounds that you'll be able to find in the game, and a bunch of like secrets and cool lore related to all that stuff. Um, so yeah, just a bunch of like really exciting little gameplay features here and there, stuff that like we weren't really sure if it was confirmed or not, but we like kind of speculated on. And then also just some really cool world building stuff. So that's all like just really exciting news. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I've been waiting so long for it. Um, and I'm a huge Bethesda fan, so I'm really hoping like, Fallout 76, like at its current state now, it's actually a pretty solid game. And they made a lot of great improvements to it. But it's still not a perfect game. And obviously when it released, it had a lot of issues. So that's something that was just like really unfortunate with the release of Fallout 76. Um, so I'm really hoping Starfield is kind of a return to form with Bethesda, because that's just, that's the Bethesda that I've missed. So where I'm really really hoping that Starfield is going to be a massive hit for them, not only for my own sake because I want it to be really good, but for every gamer out there. Um, Definitely really excited to get my hands on it, and it'll be really soon. But yeah, so moving on to our second news story of the day. Modern Warfare 3 was officially officially announced and revealed. So yeah, officially. But yeah, it was officially announced and revealed. We've got a closed beta coming out. Starting off on PlayStation from October 6th through the 10th, and then on all platforms through the 12th and the 16th. Um, so there's a lot of they actually announced a lot of stuff yesterday. They did a big like in-game Modern Warfare 2 Warzone event revealing the game, and it was actually really cool. I was able to hop in, and it was just like a really cool experience. It was like a co-op thing where all of the different squads are working together on different points of the map to like launch these missiles and stuff. It was really interesting, and then like everything ends with the trailer reveal for Modern Warfare. Now this trailer reveal, it was specifically just for the campaign, so it kind of gave you an idea of like what's going on. Makarov is obviously back. They teased him in Modern Warfare 2, and he's one of the most iconic gaming villains, and especially for Call of Duty. He is probably the most iconic villain. Um, so of course they have to bring him back. Like why not, right? But yeah, like the game's looking really awesome. Graphically, it looks like a major improvement from Modern Warfare 2, which Modern Warfare 2 already is a great looking game. But just everything looks that much better in this. Um, so as far as the campaign goes, it takes place right after Modern Warfare 2. It's going to feature the local locations from Verdansk, which was the Warzone 1 map. So we're going to be going back to Verdansk. Half of the missions are going to be linear story missions, while the other half of the missions are going to be open combat. So I think it's going to be kind of like how Modern Warfare 2 was. There was one mission where you had a sniper rifle and you had to like kind of sneak around, and you had a lot of options on how you wanted to go about the mission. Um, but something they said is like on these open combat missions, you'll be able to choose your loadout. You can plan out how you want to traverse through the map. There's going to be side objectives, and yeah, like there's going to be a lot of replayability with these missions because there's always going to be something new and exciting to find on all of your replays. Because I guess you won't be able to see everything um, in one run of those missions. So that'll be like really interesting. Definitely a bold new direction for Call of Duty campaigns. It's something a little bit more ambitious, and kind of they're kind of breaking away from just the standard linear stuff, and they've been like going towards that direction for a while now. So I think this is an ongoing trend, and who knows, maybe eventually we'll end up seeing a fully open world Call of Duty. um but yeah, so once again, you're playing as Task Force 141. uh Makarov is going to be in the game, Shepard, a lot of those characters from the previous two games, and then also returning characters from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. And another thing they stated is that after Modern Warfare 3, they're actually going to continue the story for Modern Warfare. So I'm assuming we're going to see a lot more Modern Warfare games in the future from Infinity Ward and potentially Sledgehammer as well. Um, but yeah, now to the actual gameplay changes. So for gameplay and for multiplayer, uh, they're bringing in 150 health. Usually the standard for Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 was 100 health, and headshots did a huge amount of damage, and the time to kill was very, very fast, which was something that a lot of people didn't like. Me personally, I don't care. I'm fine with it. The 150 health, I'm just a little bit concerned that it might be too much and it might be too bullet spongy. But I'm sure that they'll be able to iron that out with play tests and the beta tests that are upcoming. So hopefully it feels good. One or actually two really exciting things that they're doing though is they're bringing the classic minimap back. So there's going to be red dots whenever people fire their weapons, which is great. And then if people have suppressors, they won't show up on the radar for that. Um, and then they're bringing back map voting, which is something that we haven't seen since like the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. I'm pretty sure it's been a really long time. So that's really exciting because that's something that just doesn't really exist in games anymore. Like you rarely see map voting unless it's something like Rainbow Six Siege where you're voting to ban maps instead of voting which map to choose, and then it's still randomized from a pool of like three different maps. Um, so this is like really, really exciting news, and it's gonna make it just feel like classic Call of Duty again. And speaking of that, they're bringing back reload cancel, which was something they took away in Modern Warfare 2. They're bringing back slide canceling, and a lot more. Um, all perks are going to be active from the start of the match, which was something they changed up in Modern Warfare 2 as well. So they're kind of reverting a lot of changes, and they're bringing back a lot of old features that are like fan favorites. Um, so the game is going to launch with 6 brand new maps, and then all 16 launch maps of the original Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. And they're going to be full on remakes. They're not going to be within the Warzone map. They're going to be full remakes of the original settings and maps from the original Modern Warfare 2. And they chose to do that because they wanted to have a celebration for Call of Duty's 20th anniversary, which is this year. Um, there's going to be 4 ground war maps. And then they're also bringing back the war mode from Call of Duty World War II, which that mode was really fun, super underrated. So that's pretty exciting to bring that back. They're also going to have all of the standard game modes that you can come to expect, like PDM, domination, hardpoint, kill confirmed, all that good stuff. And then another new feature that they're adding is something called like tactical aiming. And it's going to be like kind of an in between, or sorry, it's called tac stance. That's what I meant to say. It's going to be in between a full ADS and a hip fire. So it kind of sounds like point firing. So it'll be a little bit more accurate than hip firing. And it'll probably add some interesting skill gaps to the game. And that'll be across all the modes, Modern Warfare's campaign, Warzone, and multiplayer. So that'll be really interesting to see. And then another thing that they announced is that they're going to be having zombies in Modern Warfare for the first time. It's not going to be the standard round-based zombies. It's going to be much more like Outbreak, but like a mixture of Outbreak and DMZ. It's going to be a fully open-world map, up to 24 players with 6-player squads. It's PvE only, so the other squads are going to be working with you. And so like basically there's going to be missions and objectives that you can do within the matches. And there's going to be buy stations, ammo depots, wall buys, mystery boxes, pack-a-punch, like all the stuff that you've come to expect from zombies. And then you can exfil with rewards. So like in order to get out of the map, you have to get to an exfil and exfil out of the map. But yeah, in those regards, it's going to be like DMZ where you can go in, grab loot, and then you can bring it into your next match. So like if you get a ray gun and pack-a-punch that thing, well, you can exfil with it if you survive, and you can bring it in with you to the next match. And I guess the way it works, like some Call of Duty content creators got to see gameplay of it, and you start off on the outskirts of this map and you move your way in, and on the outskirts it's just regular zombies, but as you get closer and closer to the center of the map, you get more and more crazy enemies. And there's going to be like a lot of just the different like cool zombie monsters and bosses that they've introduced in all of the zombie games, and they're bringing them back, like the Mimic from Black Ops Cold War and stuff like that. And then there's also going to be a cinematic storyline that was, I don't know if Treyarch is leading it, but it's going to be tied to the Treyarch Zombies storyline. So everything that has been leading up to this, they're just going to continue it within the Modern Warfare universe, which is really interesting. But yeah, so Modern Warfare 3 is on the way. It's releasing in November. And again, the beta is going to be from the 6th to the 10th for PlayStation, and then 12th to 16th across all other platforms. Um, so if you want to try it out, definitely go ahead and jump into that whenever it releases. Um, so for our third and final story for the day, uh, Rockstar has acquired two different modders. Um, so if you don't know, GTA 5 has a massive modding community, especially for like role playing mods. Um, and so the biggest Rockstar roleplay creators have been acquired by they've been acquired by Rockstar, which is really crazy because they've been keeping GTA 5's multiplayer going for a long time with like all this cool role playing content. Which if you're unfamiliar with it, they essentially like turn the game into a game of life. Like you can literally basically do anything in it. It's really cool stuff. I've never gotten the chance to try it out. Don't know if I ever will. But like as an outsider seeing gameplay clips from it, it's really cool stuff. And you always love to see game developers working with modders rather than working against them. Um, but I think the biggest thing about this news story is that it's gonna have some pretty big implications on where they're taking GTA 6 and where they're taking the multiplayer of GTA 6. Because I'm assuming what they're gonna be doing is using these modders and these creators who have worked in the community for so long to design some new gameplay features for GTA 6. Like maybe a lot of those role playing features that you've seen from their mods are going to be implemented into GTA 6, both in the story mode and especially online. Um, but yeah, like I don't know, that's just really cool because I don't know if these modders have been receiving any financial support for their mods. Like I don't know how that stuff works, but the fact that they're going to be getting jobs with Rockstar now, that's really cool. That's really exciting. And it's just good to see the modding community and game developers and publishers working together rather than working against each other. Which yeah, Rockstar has been doing a lot better about that. And then we've obviously got Bethesda who they love modders. Like even with Starfield, they're like, yeah, we want you to mod our game, and they even have like this creation engine that you can put mods within the game and everything. And they're doing that right off launch of Starfield. Sorry to pivot a little bit back to Starfield. I'm just super excited for it. But yeah, this is all really exciting game news. So yeah, whether you're a fan of Bethesda and are excited about Starfield, or maybe you've never played a Bethesda game and you want to play Starfield, that's coming out in a few weeks. And then Modern Warfare 3 is coming out within a few months, with the beta coming out next month, or sorry, 2 months from now. Um, and exciting news of possibly having some implications for GTA 6. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Just a bunch of really exciting and good news, which is nice because I feel like the last few times we've recorded, we've had some unfortunate or bad news regarding the game industry. But we've had a lot of really exciting things happen lately. Which, speaking of, just random, but I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 and it's super awesome. Definitely, probably going to be the game of the year, I feel like. Which I know a lot of people are saying. But as someone who's like a casual Dungeons and Dragons fan, it's super awesome. You don't really need to be a Dungeons and Dragons fan at all or have to have played the other games to understand it. Um, it is a turn-based combat RPG, but it's very intuitive and it kind of jumps you in right away and like kind of teaches you how to go about that combat and everything. I didn't feel like it was too overwhelming for me. So I definitely feel like even if you're more of a casual person, there is even difficulties that you can lower. Like one of them is Explorer mode, which is focused on just story and exploring, and the combat's going to be a lot easier for you. So definitely would check that game out if you're wanting like just a really really awesome, super in depth and intuitive RPG to jump into. I highly recommend it. I've played, I don't know, maybe about like 10 to 15 hours of it so far. It's really great. I'm loving it so far. But yeah, once again, thanks for joining us on the Casket Minds podcast. And you can expect a lot more content moving forward. Again, we're probably going to move to a bi-weekly schedule for the podcast itself. However, I'm going to start making some more short form game content moving forward here soon. And especially probably for Starfield. Definitely expect to see a lot of Starfield content whenever the game fully releases. Um, so yeah, thanks for watching or thanks for listening, and make sure to follow us on all of your favorite platforms, and definitely share the episode with your friends and family. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the episode, and definitely leave a comment below. Which game are you most excited for the fall or winter this year? You looking forward to Starfield? Are you looking forward to another Call of Duty, which we get every year, but that's okay because I definitely buy them every year anyways. Um, but yeah, definitely let us know in the comments below. Next time we record an episode, Mitch will be here again. He just wasn't able to join us today. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.